Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Tuber. In my previous videos, I have briefly explained about the bone, clavicle and scapula. In this video, I'm going to explain about the humerus bone, in which I have divided this video into parts. In first part of the video, I will briefly explain about the side determination and features. If you have not watched my previous video, please kindly check the description. I have dropped the links below. Otherwise, please open my channel and search for the playlist. I have created the separate playlist for upper limb bones in my channel. Okay, let's start today's video. In today's video, I'm going to explain the briefly about the side determination and features of humerus. Humerus, bone of arm. This is the longest bone of upper limb. Side determination, upper round head, lower flattened end and shaft. Okay. The rounded is to form a head. The round which forms a head from front lesser tubercle projects and limited laterally by intertubercle circus or biseptal groove. I will show you the lesser tubercle and intertubercle circus. Okay. Look, this is lesser tubercle and this is intertubercle circus and this is greater tubercle. Okay. The lesser tubercle projects and limited laterally by intertubercle circus or biseptal groove. Intertubercle circus divide the lesser tubercle and greater tubercle. This is greater tubercle and lesser tubercle. In between these two tubercles, there is a presence of intertubercle circus. Can you see this three line? This is lesser tubercle, this is greater tubercle. In between these two, there is a presence of intertubercle circus. This line, intertubercle circus. Okay. At the lower, it is a flat end from side to side. Look, from side to side, it is flat. Another thing, the head is directed. The head is directed medially upward and slightly backward. Medially upward and slightly backward. So this is the left side bone. Okay. Now let us move to the features. First, the features of upper end. Before we continue to the features, please take a minute and kindly subscribe my channel and comment below that you have subscribed my channel, and also comment that what type of videos would you like to watch from my channel, and also comment your suggestion to improve my video. Now let us move to the features. First, the features of upper end. Upper end head is directed medially backward and upward, in which it forms 1/3 of the spear, and this spear is larger than the glenoid cavity that present in scapula. In my previous video, I have thought about the scapula. Look, this is the glenoid cavity of scapula. This 1/3 spear head of the humerus is larger than the glenoid cavity of scapula, in which it articulates with the glenoid cavity of a scapula to form shoulder joint. Okay, to form a shoulder joint. Actually, this scapula belongs to right side of the body. This humerus belongs to left side of the body. Kindly, I don't have a left side part of the scapula, so don't get confused with this. Okay, you imagine that the humerus will articulate with the scapula like this. The line that separates upper end from the shaft is called anatomical neck. Okay, let us come to the anterior aspect. I have taught you the lesser tubercle and greater tubercle. This is the anterior aspect, in which there is a presence of elevation. That elevation is called lesser tubercle. In Latin, it is known as lump. And at the lateral part of anterior aspect, there is a presence of another elevation. That elevation is called greater tubercle, in which it have a upper and posterior aspect. It is marked by three impressions: the upper, middle and lower. This is the upper, middle and lower. Can you see? This is the upper, middle and lower. There are three impressions of greater tubercle. These are the three impressions, that is upper, middle and lower. Lesser tubercle, greater tubercle, and in between this the presence of intertubercle sulcus, in which it divides the lesser tubercle medially and greater tubercle laterally by forming a two lip, that is called sulcus, in which that lip comes at the lower end of lesser tubercle is called lateral lip, and at the lower end of greater tubercle, that is called medial lip. Okay, this is the lateral lip and the medial lip. This is intertubercle sulcus, lesser tubercle, greater tubercle. Fine, clear? Surgical neck separates the shaft from upper end. The morphological neck lie above the surgical neck at a junction of convex end of diaphysis and concave end of upper epiphysis. Okay, let's move forward. We have finished the feature of upper end. Let us come to the lower end shaft. Not a lower end, let us come to the shaft. Later we will come to the lower end. The shaft consists of 3 border and 3 surface. Let us know about first the 3 borders. The 3 borders are, this is the anterior border. This is the anterior aspect of humerus. So this is the anterior border. This is the anterior border, and that is the lateral part of the humerus. So this is the lateral border. It is prominent only at the lower end. You can see the ridge at the lower end. If you can't, wait, I shall mark it. Okay, you can see the sharpest ridge, that is called lateral border, and this is the medial part of the humerus, and this is the medial border of humerus. This is the medial border of shaft. Fine. This is the medial border, lateral border, anterior border. At anterior border. Anterior border at the lower of it is smooth and round. There is no ridge and no groove. It is smooth and round. At upper 1/3 forms the lateral lip of intertubercle sulcus. You know that this is the medial lip and this is the lateral lip. Look, at the anterior border there is a presence of lateral lip of intertubercle sulcus, and at the middle part it forms anterior margin for deltoid tuberosity. Look here. Here, anterior margin of deltoid tuberosity. Okay, anterior border is cleared. Let us come to the lateral border. This is the lateral border. It is prominent only at the lower end, in which it forms a lateral supracondylar ridge. Lateral border, lateral supracondylar ridge. At upper part, it is barely traceable up to the posterior surface of greater tubercle. Look, this is the greater tubercle. This is the posterior surface of greater tubercle. It is traceable at the posterior surface of greater tubercle. Next, let us come to the medial border. Medial border, upper part forms medial lip of intertubercle sulcus. At anterior border, lateral lip of intertubercle sulcus. At medial border, medial lip of intertubercle sulcus. At upper part and its middle part, there is a presence of rough strip. Okay, it is continuous below with a medial supracondylar ridge. Okay, medial supracondylar ridge. Medial border, medial supracondylar ridge. Lateral border, lateral supracondylar ridge. Middle part of the lateral border, the radial or spiral groove will be interrupted. At middle part, the middle part is interrupted by radial or spiral groove at lateral border of humerus shaft. At medial border, medial supracondylar ridge. Lateral border, lateral supracondylar ridge with the middle part of radial and spiral groove is interrupted, and at the anterior border, there is a anterior margin for deltoid tuberosity. Now, we have finished the 3 border. Let us know the 3 surface. Now, the 3 surface. You know that this is the anterior border and this is the lateral border. There is a presence of surface between these 2 borders. So this surface is called anterior-lateral surface. The surface that present between anterior border and lateral border of shaft of humerus, that surface is called anterior-lateral surface. Meanwhile, this is anterior border and medial border. There is a presence of surface in between these 2 borders. That surface is called anterior-medial border. The surface that present between the anterior border and medial border of shaft of humerus, the surface is called anterior medial surface, behind the posterior surface. Okay, anterior lateral surface, anterior medial surface, posterior surface. Let us come to the anterior lateral surface. This is anterior lateral surface lie between anterior and lateral border of the shaft. At upper half, it is covered by deltoid. Anterior lateral surface, at the upper part, it is covered by deltoid. This is the middle part of the surface. Little above the middle, it is marked by V shape. Can you all see here? Wait. Look, it is marked by V shape. I hope you are understanding it. Okay. It is marked by V shape. It is called deltoid tuberosity. This V shape is called deltoid tuberosity, in which for deltoid in Greek they call triangular shaped. Okay, at the upper deltoid is covered. Little above the middle part of the surface there is a presence of V shape. That V shape is called deltoid tuberosity. Next, behind the deltoid tuberosity, the radial groove run downwards and forwards across the surface. Okay, deltoid tuberosity and radial groove. Next, let us come to the anterior medial surface. This is anterior medial surface lie between anterior and medial border of shaft. The upper 1/3 of the anterior medial surface, it is narrow, in which this surface give floor to the intertubercle sulcus. Intertubercle sulcus present on the surface of anterior medial surface. Near middle border of anterior medial surface, at the middle part, it have nutrient foramen. Next, let us come to the posterior surface. The posterior surface lie between medial border and lateral border of the shaft of humerus, in which the upper part is marked by oblique groove. At the middle one third, there is a crossing of radial groove from here. There is a crossing of radial groove from here at the middle part. You know that at a delta tuberosity, there is a cross of radial groove. Again, that radial groove cross at the middle part of the posterior surface. Okay, we have finished the feature of upper end shaft, and next let us come to the feature of lower end. The lower end, let us divide into the two parts, that is articular part and non-articular part. The articular part will give articulation with other bones, and non-articular part will don't give articulations with other bones. Let us know which are those part. Articular part. In articular part, there is a presence of capitulum and trochlea. Now let us come to the articular part, in which this part gives articulation with radius and ulna. Okay, there is a capitulum, this is capitulum, and this is trochlea. Trochlea, in Greek, trochlea is nothing but pulley shaped. This is pulley shaped surface called trochlea, articulate with the trochlear notch of ulna. Articulate with the trochlear notch of ulna. Articulates with trochlear notch of ulna like this. Okay, next let us come to capitulum part of humerus. This is the capitulum part of humerus, lower end. At lower end, there is the presence of capitulum part, which articulates with the head of radius. Which articulates with the head of radius. Okay. Capitulum articulates with head of radius. Trochlea articulates with the trochlear notch of ulna. Right? No confusion. Look. Can you see? This is capitulum part. This is trochlea part. Capitulum part articulates with the head of the radius. Trochlea part articulates with the trochlear notch of ulna. I have showed you how it's articulate. Next, to the non-articulate part. Non-articulate parts are medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle, lateral supracondylar ridge and medial supracondylar ridge, coronoid fossa and radial fossa and olecranon fossas. Let us see which they are. You know, this is the lateral part, so this is lateral epicondyle. This is medial part, so this is medial epicondyle. This is lateral border, so this is lateral condylar ridge. Lateral condylar ridge. This is medial border, so this is the medial condylar ridge. And this, there is a presence of fossa here. Look, there is a depression here. This fossa is called radial fossa, and this fossa is called coronoid fossa. Radial fossa, coronoid fossa. The another fossa behind the humerus, this fossa is called olecranon fossa. Okay. First, let us come to the medial epicondyle. This is medial border, so this is the medial epicondyle. Projection of medial side of lower end. Projection of medial side of lower end. It is subcutaneous, felt on the medial side of the elbow. Look, when you do like this, here you can feel. Here you can feel subcutaneous. Look, you can feel that medial epicondyle of humerus like this. Okay. Next, lateral epicondyle. Lateral epicondyle is smaller than the medial epicondyle. The anterior lateral part of this epicondyle have muscular impression at this part. Here you can feel the muscle. You can't feel the bone, but here you can feel the bone. Here you can feel the muscle. Okay, there is a muscle impression here, and this epicondyle is smaller than the medial epicondyle. Lateral epicondyle is smaller than the medial epicondyle. Next, let us come to the lateral supracondylar ridge. This is the lateral border, and it is a lateral supracondylar ridge. The sharp lateral margin above the lower end. This is the lower end, and this is the above the lower end. It is a sharp margin above the lower end. Next, let us come to the medial supracondylar ridge. It is similar to the lateral supracondylar ridge, okay, in which it is sharp above the lower end of the medial side. Now let us move to the fossas. This is radial fossa, and this is the coracoid fossa, and this is olecranon fossa. Radial fossa, coronoid fossa, olecranon fossas. Let us come to the radial fossa. Radial fossa, it is a depression above the anterior aspect of capitulum. You know this is the capitulum, right? At above the anterior aspect of capitulum, there is a presence of one fossa. That fossa is called radial fossa, in which this fossa accommodates head of radius when elbow is flexed. Look, when your elbow is flexed, there is an accommodation of head of radius with the radial fossa of humerus. This is the flexion. Look, when it is flexed, there is accommodation of head of the radius with the radial fossa of humerus. Okay, this is the flexion. Next, let us come to the coronoid fossa. Coronoid fossa, this is the depression at the anterior aspect of trochlea. Look, anterior upper aspect of trochlea. This is the trochlea. At the anterior upper aspect of trochlea, there is a presence of one fossa. That fossa is called coronoid fossa, in which it accommodates coronoid process of ulna when elbow is flexed. Again, when you flex your elbow, real part of the humerus, these two get articulates like this. When you flex your elbow, this is a flexion. When you flex your elbow, look, it's getting accommodated. It accommodates at the coronoid fossa. Look, it accommodates at coronoid fossa when you flexed. Are you able to see? Look, it accommodates at coronoid fossa. At radial fossa, head of the radius from the capitulum, it get accommodates. I will try to show together. It's difficult, but I will try. Look, like this. This both will accommodate in these two fossa. I hope you understood. Let me move forward. Next, only one fossa is left, that is olecranon fossa. Olecranon fossa lie above posterior aspect of trochlea. This is anterior aspect. This is posterior aspect. Okay. Olecranon fossa lie posterior aspect of trochlea, in which it accommodates olecranon process of ulna when elbow is extend. Look. Now it is in flexion. When you extend. Look. Now it is in flexion. When you extend, it get accommodate like this. Again, it is not articulation. It's just accommodate. Okay. Articulation is different. Okay, it's just accommodate, in which it helps in free movement. At olecranon fossa, the olecranon process of ulna get accommodate with humerus like this when you extend your elbow joint. Fine. Extension at olecranon fossa. Flexion at radial fossa and coronoid fossa. Understood? Clear? Okay. So that's all for today. I hope this video is helping to you to revise in your exam or else to learn you freshly. If you feel these videos are helping you, so please share to your friends, subscribe, like, share and comment below that you have subscribed my channel. My part 2 video will be uploaded after 2 days. Until that, you study and finish this much portion of the bone. I have divided my videos to part because it helps you to study step by step. If I explain you everything at a time, it will be difficult to you. See you next. Bye bye.